Boss fights are better left as a test of your skills rather than that of your patience and endurance, the latter of which in some cases make the fight more annoying than fun. To that effect, here are 15 of the most annoying bosses in games that will drive you crazy. Uncharted 2 – Zoran Lazarovich. Uncharted 2 is considered to be one of the finest games of the PS3 generation, although its final boss does leave a sour taste in most players' mouths. The fight against Zoran Lazarovich isn't the toughest, but it requires players to be almost perfect with their moves and sustain that momentum for a considerable amount of time. Lazarovich can't be killed by traditional means, and players have to strategically make him chase you around the arena so as to be able to shoot the blue resin whenever he's near. He takes a lot of hits to go down, although it would only require a couple of his grenade shots for you to lose this battle. Riddler and his riddles – Batman Arkham Knight. The Riddler has long been one of Batman's biggest arch-nemeses, and the case remains such in Batman Arkham Knight as well. While he isn't the toughest of boss fights, just getting to him alone will make you want to throw controllers at the screen in anguish. First, you'll have to complete all of his Riddler trials, which see you making extraordinary jumps and sharp turns at blazing speeds with your Batmobile. Then, after a certain point in the questline, you'll have to collect over 200 Riddler trophies before facing this boss. Akuma, Tekken 7. Tekken 7's Akuma boss fight can only be unlocked after players complete the story mode. Akuma is a vicious beast of a boss that will pummel you down in moments unnoticed if you lower your guard. He also happens to have a great range of attacks that, of course, deal heavy damage, which he then follows up with a flurry of punches mano-mano style. Of course, what makes the whole affair even harder is that you'll have to play with a particular character, Devil Kazuya, to get the achievement for this boss fight. Flame Hyenard, Mega Man X7. The Mega Man series is known for housing some of the most difficult platforming levels of all time, which the game follows up with ruthless bosses. And of course, the Flame Hyenard from Mega Man X7 is no different in this regard. Shaped like a hyena, this Reploid can essentially make multiple clones of himself which fight you, while he comfortably towers above you shooting guided missiles. It's a battle of might that can only be bested by those who can consistently avoid the boss's attacks without getting hit. Convicts, Dead Rising. Dead Rising isn't the hardest of games, but the Convicts boss fight is certainly one of its most annoying parts. The trio of psychopaths roam around the leisure park in a jeep with a mounted machine gun, which, as you can imagine, is one of the most powerful weapons in the game. The boss can shred you down pretty easily if you take it head on, and as such, players will have to come up with creative strategies to best this boss. Motaro, Mortal Kombat 3. A centaur with a strong dislike for the Shokan, Motaro is one of Mortal Kombat 3's most annoying bosses. In addition to towering above the player with its enormous height, his assortment of moves is sure to induce rage in many a gamer's hearts. He can throw projectiles with his tail, he can pummel you with his grab, or better yet, teleport to get behind you and beat you down again. It's only after multiple rounds of losing against this boss that you may stand a chance at beating him. Saturn, Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2's Saturn is a mecha with a purpose of protecting the Hyperion information stockade, and is one hell of an annoying boss. The Borderlands series is known for having boss fights that keep on dragging what seems like forever, and Saturn is no different. His attacks include heavy hits, and is immune to most kinds of elemental damage, which in turn restricts players to just one strategy: keep pumping bullets until it's down, which of course is easier said than done. Senator Armstrong, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance might seem like a standard hack and slash, where you can get around just anything by continually spamming the attack and dodge buttons, though that couldn't be further from the truth. Senator Armstrong is the perfect example of this skill-based combat, as players need to be attentive to all of his hard-hitting moves and react accordingly with ninja reflexes to even stand a chance at beating this boss. It's an annoying boss, sure, but it's certainly one challenge that will earn you some well-earned satisfaction on completion. Micolash, Host of the Nightmare, Bloodborne. This fight against the Host of the Nightmare might be one of the most annoying fights in this otherwise excellent game. Micolash isn't the most outlandishly difficult of a boss and will go down pretty easily. However, the main hook of this fight is getting to him, as he runs through a maze filled with enemies that can stun you pretty easily if you get caught in their attacks. To stand a chance of beating him, you need to first figure out and then remember exactly where to go in this labyrinth, which is flat out not fun. Silver, Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations Silver the Hedgehog is yet another one of gaming's most annoying final bosses. Set against an endless highway, this rival boss fight sees players using the debris of meteors and broken down cars to hit the boss, which triggers another phase that changes the perspective. Silver hits hard and quickly, and thus players need to be consistently cautious to stand a chance at beating the boss. Bed of Chaos, Dark Souls. Dark Souls' Bed of Chaos is one fight so annoying that one might be baffled as to why this boss exists in this game at all. The Bed of Chaos is a seemingly giant tree that does sweeping attacks with its branches, which can't be dodged easily. The player has to make his way to its source of energy and destroy it, which then leads to the floor breaking down, following which you need to make your way to the actual source of the chaos. Sans, Undertale. One of the major characters of Undertale, Sans, is a skeleton and the final boss of this great RPG. Of course, as one might expect from the final boss of a turn-based RPG, it's one slog of a fight. Sans uses a variety of attacks to slow down the player as quickly as possible, and you need to be careful and precise with your attacks to stand a chance of defeating him, which will lead you to one of the game's many endings. The End, MGS3. The Metal Gear series is known for having some of the most creative bosses in gaming, and while MGS3's The End is no different, he is equal parts annoying. He can kill you in just a few sniper shots, and he's damn accurate with his weapon. Even if you manage to track him down, he can flee pretty quickly, and you'll need to rinse and repeat the process multiple times before he finally goes down. Of course, in true Metal Gear fashion, there are a few tricks that you can employ to take him down in a rather creative fashion. Mike Tyson, Punch-Out. Mike Tyson is one of the most revered players in boxing, and his extraordinary skills of boxing translate over beautifully to his video game avatar in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Tyson is the game's final boss, and of course, he fights like one. He attacks viciously, and he attacks a lot. Players need to be very cautious of his timings and tells to even survive a round of this grueling boss fight. Ustanak, Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 6 is considered by series fans to be the lowest point of the franchise, which can partly be attributed to annoying boss fights such as the likes of Ustanak. This hulking behemoth of a boss is surprisingly fast, and if you get caught in its attacks, he'll deal no small amount of damage. In one of the sequences, you'll need to lure him near the barrels spread throughout the arena and shoot it down. Doing this exercise again and again is just not fun. Also, did we mention that Ustanak is a pathetic rip-off of Nemesis? And with that, we've reached the end of this video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on Gaming Bolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.